Hello, flute players. We're going to be going over the song Half Note Rock today. A couple things about this before we get going. We need to make sure we know how the rhythm of this song goes. So, do you remember how to perform this on air or on clapping? Let's try it real quick. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, rest, rest. 2, 3, 4. Rest, 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 The only one that may throw you off that you're not used to is perhaps the half note to whole note transition, because we haven't done that yet as a rhythm unit. Let's practice that real quick. So start in measure 3. 1, 2, ready, go. 2, 3, 4. Next one. Next one. Rest, rest. So when you go to play that on air, you've got to make sure that you're really confident about where that air is placed. So one more bit before we get going. Let's make sure that we do the air stream. So don't even worry about fingering or playing your instrument. Just blow. Okay? We'll do it together. Do it on the flute embouchure. Okay? 1, 2, ready, go. Rest. Rest, 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 rest. If you can't do that, stop the video and practice that until you get it right. That is 100% necessary before we move on to the next part. Okay, so now that you've paused the video and practiced and you're ready for the next section, let's go over these fingerings one more time. So the first note is a what letter name? If you don't know, pause the video, look it up. Okay, did you figure out it was a D? Good. Do you remember how to finger that D? It's like the E flat, but what do? Instead of having your pinky down, you lift up. But otherwise, it's the same. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and your back skinny key thumb right there. Okay? So you play that 3 times. And make sure you let your lips fall to a closed position whenever you're doing this. So when I go to play those 3 notes in a row, I'm thinking like a beatboxer, like a person spitting out watermelon seeds. The lips close. Okay? And then the next note is what? Our next favorite note that we've learned first is the same thing as a D, but you drop your right hand pinky. So it's like the D, but get that pinky involved. E flats. And this time we're going to go poo, poo, poo. Try that with me. Try tapping your foot when you do it. 6, 7. And this little apostrophe thing, this comma, it's actually a breath mark. So when you get to the end of this E flat whole note, take the big breath and get ready for the next note. That's what that breath mark, that apostrophe means. This third note that we encounter is what note? Pause the video and look it up. You might have figured out it's an F. That's right. And you finger it. This is the one that's a little bit more challenging because it's a different fingering schematic. Thumb in the back, like normal. But instead of being 2, 3 in the left hand, it's going to be 1, 2, 3 in the left hand. And instead of 1, 2, 3 in the right hand and pinky or whatever, you're going to do just index, let these 2 fingers wave, and have that pinky on that skinny key. So thumb, 1, 2, 3, 1, pinky. Try that note, make sure it's working. And here it is in context. It's just like measure 1 and 2. Okay, try that a few times. Get that right over and over again until you don't have to think about it anymore and it's easy for you. Don't forget to rest here. When you get to this E flat, it's the same fingering as this, but it's going to be played all by itself. Okay, so there's going to be a space for you to move your fingers to the E flat. So you're on the F, and then when you're getting ready to get this to the next note that I'm highlighted, you're going to switch over to thumb 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, pinky. So here's the F, here's the E flat. Okay. And then to finish off the song, you've got another rest, and what do? For the last note, just lift the pinky. For that last D, just lift the pinky in the right hand. Talking about that D. Okay. I'd like to start you right here and go to the end and let you hear how that goes and see how that goes. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Rest, 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 rest. Okay, pause the video and rewatch that a few times. Make sure you're able to see my fingers. Okay, and then from the beginning, I always tell people, whenever you got the chunks in place, then instead of playing the first time, go through it on just fingers. And you can rest your flute on your shoulder if your fingers are getting tired, and just go through the fingerings together. Let's try that once. Rest, rest, da, da, da. Breathe, da, da, da. Rest, rest, da, rest, rest, da. Don't forget that you can have the my part play out for you when you're working on that. Your my part can be out loud when you're practicing, but as soon as you go to record, you'll have to turn it off. Don't forget to record with headphones. So we just fingered through it. If you messed up, maybe from this E flat to the F, that's pretty normal for flute players at this point in the game. It's hard. You have to practice that ability to play 2, 3, 4, and then immediately move and not miss the button. And because smart music doesn't stop for you, it's even more complicated. So as you're working through this, don't get frustrated with this. Treat it as a challenge, and you will get it. Remember, there are people who play much, much faster than we're playing right now, and it's not abnormal to be able to do this. It is weird to do this, but it's not abnormal. So every flute player ever has gone through this process and had this challenge. Hear me out here. Even me, when I was learning flute, this was a challenge. So as you're working through this, just trust yourself, practice it enough where it's not hard anymore. And if you're one of those gifted souls that get it right away, just ignore what I'm saying. Keep working on it as you need to. But those of you who are struggling, which is probably a few of you, take your time with it. Don't get mad. Let's try the entire thing from the beginning. Okay, so good moment to talk about the F note. The F note will drop down the octave on you if you're not careful. So when I went to play my F just then, mine went like this. Kind of split the octave and moved around. In order to not let that happen, make sure you found the sweet spot on your instrument where you're making the best tone quality. Also, make sure that you're aimed upwards with your air. That's meaning instead of being like, but being like, you might have to angle your jaw forward ever so slightly. I've got too much space in my mouth. My aperture, the hole that it comes out of, is too big. So compress a little faster. as you're playing, play that long note and blow into it. Increase the air velocity, squeeze ever so slightly with the lips, make sure the inside of the space in the mouth raises up, and that'll get that F to come out without it dropping the octave. Practice through that. You've done it. Make sure that you are ready for the whole song, and when you're ready, hit that record button. You're going to be fantastic. I'm so proud of you. If you have questions, reach out and we'll hang out, okay? See you later. Bye-bye.